Such a busy day today. Oh, hello. And welcome to The Load In, a United Theater podcast. I'm your host, Lee Metzger, as always. And today you join me in my lovely office that I share with Tony, who's not here today. But I am, and I've decided that I'm going to do the show. So, welcome. And I would offer for you to take a seat, but you're a camera. And you can't sit, but here we are. Today I was thinking we could talk a little bit about what we got going on for the next couple days. We have some pretty cool film-centered events that are coming up, and I wanted to tell you about them. And I think this could be a good way. Maybe this is like the new thing. Maybe I welcome you into my space because you're welcoming me into your space with your ears and now your eyes, and maybe even subscribing to the podcast. So let's talk about some stuff and dive right in. It's The Load In with me, Lee. So I want to go chronologically here. We've got a couple movies, special screenings of films. Some are repertory stuff that we pulled out of the vault and sharing with you for the first time, at least here. You've maybe have seen these films before. They're movies, so likely you've seen maybe one or two of these or all of them. Let's talk about them. So on the 26th of October, that is probably today, if you're listening to this on that day, and it's a film called A Wheel Out of Kilter. So we have partnered with a couple organizations in the area to cater to specifically the biking community, the cycling community. I don't know if biking is a pejorative or if they prefer cycling. Maybe bikes refer to like children's toys and then like cycling is what adults do. But either way, we're very excited about this partnership and I hope you are too. We've partnered with Bike Stonington, which is a local nonprofit, Brumble Bikes in Westerly, Remy's Cycles in Stonington, and then Mystic Cycle Center as well. And they together have combined to create a coalition of cyclists, which won't be going to war anytime soon, but describing them like that kind of makes it sound like they might. This film that we'll be showing is called A Wheel Out of Kilter. It was made by Ross Morin, who is the professor of film studies, and he's the chair of the Department of Film Studies at the Connecticut College. And he's also an award-winning filmmaker, screenwriter, cinematographer, and editor. And he has created this film described as a Zen Buddhist mountain biker on the verge of a nervous breakdown, goes into the woods and never returns in this genre mashup of character drama, philosophical documentary, buddy comedy, and psychological horror film. So, we're touching all the bases, which is a baseball reference and not a cycling reference, but I'm not too well versed in cycling idioms, but maybe next time I'll bone up. I'll cycle through them. But this seems like a very interesting film. I'm excited to enjoy this. These are events that definitely sell out. The cycling community is big in this area, and they're very supportive, and we're supportive of them. So we're really happy that they can come here and enjoy these films, and we can enjoy them as well. Then on October 27th, we'll be showing Rocky Horror Picture Show. Now, if you are familiar with this movie, then you probably know all of the songs, and you probably own fishnets and many shades of red lipstick. And I was just looking at photos of Tim Curry as Frank Infurter, and my man's got some gorgeous makeup, like the eye shadowing and this eyebrows, and it's truly immaculate. If you haven't seen this film, come down just to see my man Tim Curry's do, because he's looking good. But this film is a cult classic. Many theaters around the area show this every Halloween time because of its status as a cult favorite. This is one of those films where there are like, when you get here, you get like a goodie bag of stuff. There's like a wedding scene that you throw rice. There's like clappers that you clap with. I came to this one for the past 2 years, and it is a super good time. Now, this is a rowdy crowd, okay? This is a rowdy event for rowdy people, and just know that coming into it. Don't expect to come in and enjoy the joys of cinema. This isn't what that is. And if you do come here expecting that, then you will be disappointed. And that's not going to be on us. That's going to be on you. So deal with that. Now, this is a Neighborhood Watch screening. Neighborhood Watch, of course, is our in-house club of cinephiles who sit around and watch movies, and we do it for the sake. It's not just about like watching good films. It's about watching films. Just there's quality and value in all sorts of films, be it Rocky Horror Picture Show or something that is lauded as like pure cinema, So this is the former. This is, Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's simple. Just settle down. Watch a movie. Have fun. Wear a corset and dye your hair black. Can you see my belly? A little bit. You can kind of see my belly. On the 28th, we will be showing Hocus Pocus. I almost blanked. I forgot what it was. Probably due to some hex or some magic of some sorts. We will be showing Hocus Pocus. Now, this is another cult favorite, but a different kind of cult, I guess. The Disney cult. This is a whimsical film about 3 witches who were cast out of Salem 300 years ago, and then due to some sort of ritual or rites or sacrifice situation, they were brought back, which apparently they knew about. They knew they knew that they were coming back. I watched the trailer, which is available on the internet, and it looks like they taunted the people who were burning them at the stake, ensuring that they were going to be coming back to exact their revenge. So we do see that attempt to happen in this film from the 90s. But you've probably seen stuff like this before. You've seen stuff like this before. It's Bette Midler, Sarah. I always do that. I always want to say Sarah Jessica Parker, but instead I just sound stupid. It stars Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Hocus Pocus. Kathy Najimy. It stars and Kathy Najimy. And Omri Katz. That looks like a familiar name. Omri Katz. Oh, nice hat. It's not a nice hat. Maybe I'll throw it up on the screen right here. But that's going to be a fun film screening. Now, the specific thing that you want to remember here is this is a film that we're playing in the park at the end of October. So it's going to be a little chilly. So this is one of those where you're going to bring your comfortable clothes. You're going to bring a quilt. You're going to bring maybe a thermos of some hot cider. And you're probably going to spoon with your sweetie. This is an event that's for lovers. I don't know if that's true. I think this is also a kid-friendly event, so maybe try to keep the spooning to a minimum. Now, this event is going to be for all ages. This is great to bring your kids to. If you got some dogs that aren't afraid of loud noises or flashing lights, then bring them as well. And hang out and have a good time. It's a free screening. Anybody can walk up. This is at 7:30 on the 28th of October. So be there or be hexed, cursed by the witches of Salem. And lastly, on October 29th, we'll be showing Chef. Now, this came out in 2010, 2011, something like that. Maybe a little bit later, actually. When did Chef come out? So Chef came out in 2014. So the story behind the story of Chef is Jon Favreau, the director and collaborator for the first 2 Iron Man films, was really like in the meat grinder of the Hollywood machine that created very, very highly successful films of the Avengers, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jon Favreau was kind of one of the architects of that, or at least, participated in figuring out how exactly to consistently create very, very high quality films that existed in a universe. And he was kind of feeling the, wear and tear of participating in that. So because of that, as a creative, he wrote this script about a guy, a chef, who deals with these people in his life that tell him what he needs to do. Like, he works in an occupation that he loves. He loves being a chef. He loves making food. But, that is a thing that sometimes when you're a chef, you work for a company. You work for a restaurant or restaurateur who tells you what to do and tells you what to make. And I'm sure there's some collaboration there, but ultimately when something gets very successful, it tends to get corporatized in one way or another. And then you might lose your passion, or might you lose your love for, or might forget the reason that you got into that occupation to begin with, which is something that happened to Jon Favreau when he was making these Iron Man films. So this is kind of an exploration on how to find your passion and how to remember why you fell in love with the occupation to begin with. It's a really touching movie, and it's a movie that you don't want to go too hungry. I watched this movie a couple years ago. Oh my God. Afterwards, I scoured the area for taco trucks or any sort of food trucks in general, because there's something about food out of a food truck that is so authentic and delicious that the only place that can replicate it well is actually attached to the theater. This movie, the screening, is in partnership and collaboration with the Café of Westerly, as you all know. That is the one that is the restaurant that is attached to us, quite literally at the hip. For this film, we encourage you to either before you see the movie starts at 7:30, pop on over to the cafe and try. They've made a couple dishes that are inspired by chef. I have them here. The folks over at the cafe have made a Cubano, which is the thing that Jon Favreau ends up selling out of his food truck. So I don't know whatever. You'll watch the movie and then I don't need to tell you the entire plot. He makes Cubanos and he sells them out of his food truck. They're also making an espresso martini that they're offering, a New Orleans inspired espresso martini. And that is made with New Orleans' own Café du Monde coffee. God, I bet I'm overpronouncing that. Café du Monde. They're making it with New Orleans coffee, which is pretty cool, from what I can tell. So those are the films that we have that we'll be offering here over the next couple days, starting today, which is probably the 26th. But if it's not today, just skip forward a little bit to the other parts of this definitely not evergreen episode of the Load In, and you'll be able to find information that pertains to what you're looking for. But these next 4 days are going to be incredible. And of course, by the way, we still have the Eras Tour is Thursday through Sunday, and then we have another showing next Tuesday, so make sure to come by on Halloween. We're doing a special costume party in the Studio 89. We're also doing Trunk or Treat, which is all the way down High Street, ending at Michelli's Furniture, the parking lot adjoining it. There's just a bunch of stuff going on this weekend, and I'm sure living in this area, you already know that, because we benefit from a place that is full of interesting things to do with all ages. But as I do at the end of every episode, I'm going to see if we have any reviews of the show. So here we go. Let's pull up the show. Scroll down to the bottom. We have no reviews. So if you do want to leave a review, I will read it on air and give you a shout out on the show. And that could be fun. You could show it to your friends. You could say, hey, listen, I'm the only person who left a review for The Load-In, hosted by Lee Metzger, a United Theater podcast. But anyway, I look forward to perhaps reading that in the future. And until then, goodbye. Get out of my office. Yeah, see ya. I'm very busy.
Thanks for tuning in to the United Theater Podcast Network. If you enjoyed this episode, we encourage you to subscribe to our show so you never miss an episode. And if you could take a moment to leave a review, we'd greatly appreciate it. Your feedback helps us create content that you love. So hit that subscribe button and leave us a review, and we'll see you on the next episode.